All right, guys, it's day 3. Still more factoring, grouping and factoring completely. Last 2 cases we're going to see. Grouping is the last new method, and the factoring completely is just taking everything we've done and kind of putting it all together. So let's hit this. Should be short and sweet day. First of all, factor by grouping. You know it's factor by grouping when you have 4 terms. That's the only kind of factoring we're doing with 4 terms involved. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the first 2 terms that they give us, and we're going to take out the GCF like we did yesterday. So they both have an x squared in common. If I take out the x squared out of those 2, it leaves an x where the x cubed was, and just a 1 where the x squared was, because x squared times 1 is x squared. The second 2 terms do the same thing. Take out the GCF, which is 4, and it leaves an x, and 4 times 1 is 4. So it leaves an x plus 1 also, and that's what should happen. You're hoping to see the same thing in both parentheses, because when you do that, the x plus 1 now becomes the GCF of the 2 terms. So take out the x plus 1, and what that leaves you with is an x squared for the first term and a plus 4 for the second term. And that's it. That's all you do. So it takes 2 steps. Really 3 GCFs is what you're doing. All right, let's look at the second one here. The first 2 terms right here, you can take out an a, and that leaves a 2a. That's a terrible parentheses. Let me try that one more time. That leaves a 2a minus 3. The second 2, remember, I'm looking for a 2a minus 3 again. So what do the second 2 terms have in common? They both have a 9. If I take out a 9 out of 18, that leaves a 2 in the a. 9 goes into 27 3 times. And look at my parentheses. The exact same thing again. That's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, you probably messed up somewhere. The 2a minus 3 is now their GCF. So I'm going to take out the 2a minus 3. When you take out of the first term, it leaves the a. When you take out of the second term, it leaves the 9. And there you go. Factor by grouping. That's all there is to it. 4 terms. All right, last thought of the day, factor completely. And I cannot show you every one of these types. They're going to mix in several things that we've done. You just kind of got to go with what you know. That's the best way I can put it. This is a great slide, though, and this is a great part of the lesson tomorrow because you just kind of really got to use what you know. This first one, don't forget, every time you start one, look for GCFs. That's what you need to do first. So I'm going to factor out a 3. And also I'm looking at the a's. They both have at least a 3, so I'm taking that out. When I take that out of the first term, that leaves a squared. When I take it out of the second term, 3 goes into 48 16 times. And I've already taken out the a cubed, so I'm done. And sometimes you're done right there, but this time I'm looking at this parentheses. That's a difference of squares, like we did the other day. So I can factor that, a plus 4, a minus 4. Now you've factored it completely. That's called factoring completely when there's nothing else you can do. It's completely factored. Okay, let's look at the second one. Same deal. Always look for GCF. It has one. 6 goes into all of those numbers, and everyone has at least one G. So I'm taking out a 6G. When I do that, that leaves a G squared for the first term. It leaves a minus 4G for the second term. And the last term, it just leaves a 4 because I took out the G already. Now, that's another type that we've already done. I'm looking at the first term in here. It has a square root. That has a square root. So I'm going to try this. And I'm going to use a minus sign because the middle term is minus. I'm going to try a G minus 2, G minus 2, and just double check if that works. I'm going to check the OI like we've been talking about. Negative 2. Yes, works perfectly. That's it. Okay, so factor completely. Again, factor completely. One more. Similar to the one we just did. Always start out looking for your GCF. So I'm taking out a 3, and I'm also taking out the x cubed. And what that leaves me with is an x squared, an x. I take out the 3, and 3 goes into 90 30 times, and I'll take out the x cubed, so that's what's left. So I'm looking in my bracket or my parentheses there, thinking, can I factor that some more? Basically saying, are there factors of 30 that would give me positive 1? Factors of 30 like 6 and 5. There it is. So I'm going to say, okay, the one in the middle is positive, so I'm going to say x plus the 6 and x minus the 5, because that would give me a positive 1, and also multiply to be negative 30. And there it is. All right, factor completely. And again, I can't show you every single situation you're going to see. I can just show you the ones I think you're going to see, and also what you're going to see the most. Main thing is take out GCF, and then try to factor some more using one of the methods that we've done. Also, don't forget factor by grouping 4 terms. All right, it's a good little video. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll work on it like we always do. Look forward to seeing you.